Kal Kadosh, how are you? We are coming close to Shevii Shel Pesach, the seventh day of Pesach, and we find ourselves with a question about what can we learn from the Shevii Shel Pesach exactly. So I wanted to share with you a beautiful idea that I saw brought down. The first was a question that the Zera Shimshon that he asks as follows. We know the Gemara in Pesachim Kuf Yudchet Amud Aleph says, Kashim mezonotav shel adam ki kriyat yam suf, that it is difficult the Parnassah of a human being, just like kriyat yam suf, just like the splitting of the sea. The same the Gemara says is kasher zivugo shel adam ki kriyat yam suf. Zivug, right? Finding a partner is also difficult like kriyat yam suf. And therefore they actually bring down, the Chachamim say that on the night of Shevii Shel Pesach, which that's when the Kriyat Yam Suf actually occurred, there's a machloket when did it exactly occur, did it at Chatzot, in the morning, but whichever case it occurred on Shevii Shel Pesach, this night at Chatzot it's brought down, there's a beautiful aura, there's a beautiful time where all of a sudden the Parnassah and a Zivug looking for a Shidduch, or Shalom Bayit, which is the same thing as somebody already found their Shidduch, they're all intertwined, they're all connected, and we have to pray on the night of Shevii Shel Pesach for this. However, though, the question we ask ourselves is, one second, what does that mean? How do we compare the Parnassah of a human being, or even the Zivug of a human being to Kriyat Yam Suf? Kriyat Yam Suf, the sea was split for all of Am Yisrael. It wasn't split for every single individual. And therefore, how do you learn from there that every single individual also has it as hard? And therefore, you need like a Kriyat Yam Suf. What's the connection exactly? So I wanted to share with you a beautiful idea brought down, right, as follows. It's brought down in the name of the Sfat Emet. And he says like this. We know that we read on the night of Shevii Shel Pesach, Shevii Shel Pesach, we read Halel Gadol. Halel Gadol is the Kuf Lamed Vav in Tehillim, which is all the Kilu Lam Chastos, and we see there in the 26, amongst the 26, we come and we say Legozer Yam Suf Ligzarim. What does that mean? We all know that we learn, and this is how we were taught that HaKadosh Baruch Hu split the sea to 12 different paths, to the Gzarim, to different strips, that each one had its own path. And therefore we learned that every single shevet, every single tribe had their own uniqueness and unique way of serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu. However though, right, the Sfat Emet takes it further. And he brings another pasuk in Tehillim. Perek Ayin Daled pasuk Yud Gimel says in Tehillim, Ata forarta beozecha yam. The Mechilta says, what does it mean that you split the sea, right? What are we referring to? Shenasa yam pirurim, you made it like little tiny crumbs. What does that mean, crumbs exactly? So says the Sfat Emet, it was actually done that every single Jew, every single person had their own personal shvil, their own personal derech, their own personal splitting of the sea at that time. Now, why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu do such a thing? He said because HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to show that if it was only done for the tribe, I would have thought that maybe I was only saved because of the tribe, but I wasn't saved because of myself. Now, all of a sudden, I'm saved because of myself. And every single Jew, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to show us that every single Jew was fitting for themselves to be saved. And that's why it was so important that HaKadosh Baruch Hu went and he wanted to show us the importance of what it is, to split it up between every single Jew, because each one of us are important. Rav Pinkus comes and he says something beautiful. And he says like this, in Tiferet Shimshon Bamidbar, Amud Kuftet, he says as follows, I'm going to quote you as its words are something incredible. He says you should know every single Jew has a certain aspect or a certain point inside of him which he is miuchad, he is special, chad bedara. He's the only one in the generation. So he comes and he gives a few examples. Sometimes, for example, he says, right, a person that he doesn't know how to learn very well, but he doesn't understand how people get so angry. The way that he looks at it is somebody that gets angry, it turns him off. It chokes him. There's something that's wrong. It doesn't work. Or he says that a woman, right, that a neighbor gives birth, and immediately she goes, she has to help out with the kids, give them, make them a cake, give it to them. Without that, it's impossible. She can't see it in any other way. He says other times there was, for example, when they stopped working, when there's different times when, let's say, for example, the doctors, they go on strike, and the unions, and they want more this, and they want more that. And he says, all of a sudden, he says, other people, they could say, how could it be the doctors are going to come and be so selfish and leave people there in the hospitals by themselves? Chas v'shalom, now it's the exact opposite, that we're trying to praise them, how they're putting their lives on the line in order to come and to save people in the midst of a virus. However, though, that's what people, which means every single human being looks at certain things in a different way. And therefore, every single Jew is completely different. According to this, we understand the Gemara in Sanhedrin, Daf Lamed Zayin Amud Aleph, a little bit different. We always say every single person is obligated to say, Bishvili nivra ha'olam. Because of me, the entire world was created. What does it mean, for me, the entire world was created? The Imrei Amet comes and he says something beautiful. He says, Bishvili does not mean for me. It means the shvil. Every single person has their own path and their own shvil and their own derech, their own path, unique path, in order to come and to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because the way that we were created, we have something that nobody else could go on our path. Nobody else could fix what we are going to fix. And the way that we love HaKadosh Baruch Hu is something special, just like the way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu likes us, vice versa as well, which nobody could come and compare and bring together those things. So therefore, Ikam Chachamim, they say, that's why it's so important for us to realize this, right? Why? Because this is now going to give us a very big chizuk in everything that we're going to have. Why? We started off with the question. We said, how could it be that we have that Kriyat Yam Suf was Kashim Kriyat Yam Suf, just like for a Zivug, for Parnassah, for Shidduchim, for Shalom Bayit, but you can't compare the two. And the answer is that they're the exact same. HaKadosh Baruch Hu showed every single one of us that he split the sea for every single Jew. Every single Jew had their own unique path. Every Jew had something there. And therefore, it's very important for us to give us chizuk. Why? To strengthen ourselves during this time. Because we have to remember, every single one of us are important. Every single one of us, don't take it for granted. We have to realize that, how important that it is. Today, I was speaking to someone, and we were trying to speak, and all the time we're trying to do self-introspect. So he said, look what we can learn around us. I said, listen, there's millions of things that we can learn. But then he told me something, and he was 100% correct. And he said, yeah, but you know what? I think every single one of us is going to learn something different. I said, why do you think like that? He said, because it affects every single one of us in a different way, which means it's true. This virus affects every single human being in a different way. It could be for some people being locked up in their homes. No big deal. Better for them. They're lying down, tranquilos, calm down, lax, no problem. Other people could be going out of their minds. They have to always be running around, running about. It could be every way, in every single different form. Everyone is affected differently. And the exact same way that we're affected differently, we all have to learn a different message from what's going on in order for us to fix ourselves. Because the message behind that we're supposed to do in Shevii Shel Pesah is that every single one of us is unique. Every single one of us is special. And we have to utilize that. Kriyat Yam Suf didn't only happen once. In every single generation, it happens again and again. Whether it is for when we look for shidduchim for ourselves, or when we already found our shidduch, the Shalom Bayit that we have every single time. That is Kashek Kriyat Yam Suf. It's difficult. Shalom Bayit is not something easy. It's something difficult. But we have to work on it. When we have emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we lower our noses a little bit when we go into the sea, into the water, HaKadosh Baruch Hu does the miracles and he splits. So too, it's important for us to realize this. The Parnassah is also difficult. And I'm sure a lot of people are going through the difficulties in the Parnassah. But again, Bezrat Hashem, if we only just utilize this time to pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to become closer to him, to sing our praises to Hashem, then Bezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will continue. there was a beautiful Dvar Torah that I saw, which I think is something incredible, which every single one of us can actually learn from. And I think this is also brought down. Let me just check. I think it's brought down also in the name of the Zera Shimshon. And he says like this, in the Shulchan Aruch in Siman Resh Yudchet, Sif Hey, he says if somebody had a lot of miracles that happened to them, they have to come and they have to mention a beracha on the miracle that happened in this certain place. And inside they have to incorporate, they have to encompass all the other miracles as well. And the question that he asked himself, was, why? Why is it that right now if a person has a miracle done for themselves, do they have to encompass all the miracles together in one? I have a miracle that happened to me here. I'm going to make this miracle. I'm going to make one beracha. And I'm not going to mention any other miracle. Why do I have to come and mention every single other miracle as well? And he said a beautiful yesod. And he said that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu does a miracle for us, what happens is we have two choices. Either we are kufui tova, which means we don't pay attention. Okay, he made a miracle and beautiful, and that's it. Or we're going to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for more and more miracles. We're going to thank him, and we're going to appreciate everything that Hashem does. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, for somebody that appreciates, is going to make them another miracle and another miracle, which means that the first miracle was the catalyst, was the cause of the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth. So every single time when you're going to come and see the place of your miracle, you're not going to make a bracha just on one miracle. You're going to make a bracha on all of them. You're going to have all of them in one because each one caused the other one. And therefore, it's important for us to realize this, because the more that we thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for all the miracles that he done for us, especially by Kriyat Yam Suf, who is going to come up tomorrow night, we have to realize that we want HaKadosh Baruch Hu to continue doing more miracles. And the miracles that he does is done on Parnassah every single day. Don't take it for granted that the HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us Parnassah every single day. Parashat Haman, thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu that just like the man comes down from the Shamayim, realizing that our Parnassah also comes down from the Shamayim. Pray to him. Just like Shalom Bayit, it's not something just like that. It just happened once and that's it. It's a miracle every single day that we have a Shalom Bayit, that we have two completely different parts put together as one. That's also a miracle. Recognize the miracles and thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the miracles. And Bezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will continue doing us more and more and more miracles until Bezrat Hashem, finally we could see the biggest miracle of all, Mala'aretz De'at Hashem, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will fill the entire world where we will see everyone, even the Goyim will come and see how HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the true God of the world. And finally we'll be able to have a redemption. Amen. Have a wonderful Chag, Bezrat Hashem. I hope everyone should enjoy themselves and truly have a spiritually uplifting Shevii Shel Pesach, Shmini Shel Pesach, and the Bezrat Hashem, just like the Oda Yom, the Haftarah is meant to be the Haftarah, describing everything that's going to happen during the time of the Mashiach. And then we have the Mimona on Motzei Chag, which is Chag HaEmunah, that we have Emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that he will bring the Mashiach. So too, Bezrat Hashem, hopefully we will usher in the reign, the time of the Mashiach, Bezrat Hashem. Have a wonderful time. Chag Sameach.